By the time Raila Amolo Odinga was dying, most of the ODM supporters knew that Raila Amolo Odinga did not want BABU Owino to become the governor of Nairobi.
The truth. Na tutakuogopa. Raila Amolo Odinga alikuwa na defend mambo ya BABU. Sababu gani nasema hivi? Alikuwa anajua Sakaja angetolewa, BABU Owino angepata tu pass. Angepata tu pass. Sasa anajaribu kublock huyu mtu. Na nataka kumwambia hivi. BABU Owino anakuja kuchukua governor. With ODM, without ODM. With support, your support, without your support. We will vote for him. Na atarudi bila kura yako.
To make matters more worse, even BABU Owino himself, he knew very well that the ODM ticket would be given to Johnson Sakaja, and actually came out on a radio station and he said it openly that he knows very well he's not favored by Raila Amolo Odinga's party, that's the ODM party. Of course, he was referring to Raila Amolo Odinga, not referring him. If you missed that piece, please listen to this.
I want to tell you that I know that Sakaja will be given the ticket for ODM. And I know how much I'm hated in our own house. But that will not prevent me from chasing my dreams. That will not prevent me from being a leader. Because I know leadership comes from God, and it is the people who line up to elect their leader.
Ladies and gentlemen, but now I've taken my time after Raila Amolo Odinga's death to try and look at the issue of BABU Owino becoming the governor of Nairobi. And I've come to one conclusion. Raila Amolo Odinga meant well for BABU Owino. Some of you could be asking, how did he mean well for BABU Owino, yet is denying him the opportunity that BABU Owino really wants to rise in politics? Let me take you through this history here. Evans Kidero was the first governor of Nairobi. As we speak today, he is politically dead. Mike Sonko was the governor of Nairobi. As we speak today, he is politically nowhere. Ladies and gentlemen, we have now Johnson Sakaja. He is among the most unpopular leaders we have in the country. Considering the fact that Nairobi is a metropolitan, people go to various parts of the country and they spread one gospel. Johnson Sakaja is a failure. If BABU Owino finds himself in the list of politicians in Nairobi who become governors, it's very clear that BABU Owino as well will end up becoming a failure and probably politically dead. And that was exactly what Raila Amolo Odinga was preventing him from. Ladies and gentlemen, another thing is this. If BABU Owino vied for the seat, but he doesn't get the DCP or Wiper tickets, then he just decides to go with his own party, independent, or even goes with ODM at some point. What happens if he fails? Because there's a likelihood, if Gachagua combines with Kalonzo Musyoka and then produces a candidate, the fact remains that that person is likely to become the governor of Nairobi because of the simple majority. Those people have huge numbers. And if BABU fails, that will be the end of BABU Owino's political career by 60% or even 70%. Why? In 5 years, outside the gubernatorial seat or outside government in any way, you cannot survive, especially if you don't have the political muscles to fund opposition. You cannot survive. Many who have lost the seats in Nairobi, they are now politically dead. One of them is Peter Kenneth. We have someone like Naki Deru. We have Jimmy Nambaru, Stanley Livondo, plus many others. So in a nutshell, if BABU Owino also goes to the seat and fails, eventually he will also be politically dead. Ladies and gentlemen, even after he fails, there's no guarantee that after 5 years we'll get to the seat and eventually become a governor, because the same tribal numbers will be used against him. And that will make it very difficult for BABU Owino to survive. So for BABU Owino to be safe, he has to consider the options that I'm going to list here below. Before I give you the options, ladies and gentlemen, he will not only fail because he has failed to become a governor, he will also fail because of the challenges that are in Nairobi. The challenges in Nairobi are not easy. You have to admit that. When I listened to Johnson Sakaja last time when he was having his debate with Polycarp Igathe, Sakaja seemed to be very understanding of what really is affecting or ailing Nairobi. He gave a very nice plan of how Nairobi is going to get enough water, 1 million metric tons. He was mentioning various dams, a plan that you could see this guy is really informed. But now, when it comes to the practical aspect of it, Johnson Sakaja is nowhere to be seen. As we speak today, people are calling him a failure. So BABU Owino, if he gets on that seat, assuming today now is the governor, he will also face the same challenges. The challenges of water, where we have the most of the people at the low class level, in the slums, do not have enough water. And BABU Owino cannot take water from his home. It's a system that even requires the central government to intervene, which it is not easy with the type of BABU Owino he is. Sio mchezo. Secondly, the issue of garbage collection. That is a cartel system, and that is very difficult to deal with. He can manage to deal with it, but he needs still the help of the central government. Thirdly, there's an issue to do with flooding. The drainage of Nairobi is not good. Every time heavy rains come, there's flooding all over. And that is not something he can just deal by himself, because some roads are for the national government, others are for the county government. So for him even to manage and eventually be able to open up the entire Nairobi, sio mchezo. It requires a lot of money and it requires a lot of support from the same central government. So these challenges themselves, if BABU Owino is given for 5 years, they keep recurring. BABU Owino is finished politically. People will see him as a failure. So he cannot go for any other seat. People will be like, you failed the gubernatorial seat. You were given the seat, you failed. Now, how do you expect us to believe you that you're able to deliver as a president? In a nutshell, that is a seat that destroys politicians. And BABU Owino should work very hard to keep off from that seat. Another thing that BABU Owino has to remember is this. Being a governor is different from being an MP, an MCA, senator, and other posts in the country. A governor, you are a leader, not just a politician. You are a manager, not just a leader. And you have a lot to manage and control within the county government. So the time for noise here and there, it's not there. Most of the big politicians that we've had in this country who are very, very vocal, Simbarati, Anyang' Nyong'o, James Orengo, Gladys Wang, most of these leaders have now calmed down. Because if they try to be rowdy, make noise like they had been making before, their counties will fail and will go home. So therefore, they have to concentrate on their work. That's exactly what BABU Owino needs to consider. When he becomes a governor, you don't have time to do politics here and there. Go back to Luo Nyanza, do politics. Kidero tried, he failed the gubernatorial seat. So therefore, BABU Owino, the best option he has is to keep off this seat. And that is why Raila Amolo Odinga never wanted BABU Owino on that particular seat. Because he knew his political future is gone. And most likely, when Raila Amolo Odinga looked at the leaders surrounding him, most of them were selfish. They just wanted to benefit themselves. Right now, they are fighting for the broad-based government. You can see, they're enjoying themselves. Those leaders, most of them do not have the following of the people like BABU Owino. So Raila Amolo Odinga knew, if this young guy goes to that seat, then the people of Luo Nyanza, most of them who believe in BABU Owino, will be left hanging. So that's why BABU Owino should eventually decide now to keep off that seat. Ladies and gentlemen, if BABU Owino decides to go for that seat, there are things that we must do. Number one, forget of becoming a kingpin in Luo Nyanza, because you will not be local available and you will not be getting time to champion for the interest of the Luo Nyanza region. That is number one. Number two, he has also to know that his name now will be destroyed completely, because he'll be facing challenges which he cannot recover from. And once you fail in Nairobi, that's the climax. Number three, he needs to forget the presidency. If he fails as a governor, how can people believe him that he can become a president in this country? Then it is done. Ladies and gentlemen, BABU Owino has an option. It is not all lost. It is not all lost. BABU Owino has an option. And I think, and I'm actually strongly convinced, this is why, or maybe what Raila Amolo Odinga wanted for BABU Owino. To remain in his Embakasi seat. That's the first option. If he remains in his Embakasi seat, he will be for the 4th term going for that seat. He will be able to prepare himself well. He will be able to see even how is the politics of this country working out now that Raila Amolo Odinga is not there. He will get a chance to deal with his youths, control his region, like now the Luo Nyanza region. Because Raila Amolo Odinga became the Luo Nyanza region kingpin, even when he was still an MP. So he can be able to manage, even do politics, just like he has been doing. And he will keep his career vibrant. Option 2, shoot to the presidency. If BABU Owino makes a decision right now to become the presidential candidate, a presidential candidate in 2027, it's over. He automatically becomes the kingpin of Luo Nyanza. And all these other leaders will be below BABU Owino, whether they like it or not. As a result, BABU Owino will be a principal, not just now, but he will have secured his political future in totality. So Babu Owino will be a principal walking around with the Kalonzo Musyoka, having meetings here and there, and plus many others. And they will secure a big post in government later on in case the opposition wins. And even if it fails, a president don't go home. You try again. And that is what Babu Owino is open for. But now I don't know whether he has the muscles politically, financially, to be able to push through with that. But the fact remains, if he controls the Luo Nyanza region, then he has a big stake in the government, whether people like it or not. He will influence the members of parliament who are elected from there. His party will be actually the ruling party in Luo Nyanza, and therefore, every government that wants to pass bills in parliament will need Babu Owino's consent. As simple as that. I'm strongly feeling that is what Raila Amolo Odinga wanted for Babu Owino. I don't know what you think on the comment section. Please feel free to share with me on what you think as far as Raila Amolo Odinga and Babu Owino are concerned. Thank you so much. Keep following.